Yes, uh, we are live. Hello, everyone. Uh, Welcome to another Foreman community demo, and thanks a lot for joining us live on YouTube. If you have any questions while doing the demo, then you can ping us on YouTube live chat, or you can also ping us on Libera chat on hash the Foreman channel. And if in case if you like to join us on Google Meet for interactive session, then you can find the link for that on agenda post of today's demo. So with that, I proceed with the release announcement. So as such, we are not having any release recently, but we are heading towards 3.4 stabilization week, and we are going to start the stabilization week next week. Considering all the things will go as planned, we will have the GA, the branching on 9th of August and GA on 8th of September. So that's as per the plan. So if in case you have any questions or concern about the 3.4, then you can find the planning and schedule post on community and you can comment on that. So I think that's it from my side with respect to community demos and sorry, not community demos, but release announcement. And then I proceed with the community demo. So as per the agenda, it's Jeremy first. So he's going to talk about new host details page, and he has worked on the system purpose card. So I would like to hand over the mic to Jeremy, and he will start the screen sharing as well.
Thank you, Amit. So yes, today I'm here to talk about system purpose card in the new host details UI. System purpose is a group of attributes or values that you set on each host. If you're not using simple content access, it helps auto attach to pick which subscriptions to use. But you should still use it even if you are using SCA, because it also helps with reporting in subscription watch. And then release versions also used by Candlepin to enable certain repos on the host, I think. So this is what it looks like in our old UI. You have all of the attributes here, and then for some reason, release version is over on the right side here in its own little area. So for the new UI, we've put everything on in one place on one beautiful card. So fun fact, this was originally going to be on the details tab, which is experimental, but it was moved here to overview because this is really important, and you can also edit that. So if you do have the edit hosts permission, you'll see the edit button here. And that brings up our beautiful modal here. You can edit everything at the same time. Keep in mind the possible values here come from several different sources. So you may see different options depending on what organization you have selected or what repos you have synced, etc. But yeah, you can change everything in one place here, and it's saved. The card updates immediately. You get a toast notification. And it's very straightforward. So that is the system purpose card. As always, I'm available for any questions. Thanks.
Jeremy, I think this is awesome. I really like the editing on the page. And the question I would have is, do you envision that such editing we would be adding to more cards so that I could open a model and edit things on this page directly, which I think is really awesome experience.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing precluding us from doing it. You can actually already edit a few other things on the page. Like, for instance, you can change the host's content view. You can change the host's host collections here. But yeah, there's it was actually very easy to do.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Jeremy. I'm just checking if we have any questions live or on IRC. Just waiting for a minute to sync up with the stream. Okay, it seems there are no questions, but if anyone would like to know more about the system purpose card and anything with anything related to that, then you can ping us while we are live, or you can also reach out to us after the demo. So with that, I proceed with the next demo from Aliya, and she has worked on the search link and standardizing the content views empty states. So Aliya, over to you.
Thank you, Amit. Hello, all. My name is Aliya, and I'm the summer intern in the Catalan Foreman team this summer. Today, I would like to walk through the two features we have implemented. One is adding the link for clearing the search and filters across all pages. And the second one is standardizing empty states for the content view as well as host details pages. So usually the user would go to this search box to search for specific content types using keywords. Initially, the user needed to navigate to the box and either press and hold or repetitively press the backspace button to erase the whole word in the search text box in case when, for example, there was no results found, and also when the user is still in the edit mode inside of the search text box. This is also true for filtering because before there was no easy way and one-click way of resetting filters other than refreshing the whole page. So our solution was to adding a link to clear the search as well as resetting applied active filters in situations when with no results found. We hope that this feature would improve user experience with searching and filtering. Let me demo right now this feature. For example, in this page, I would like to look up for the repositories with the keyword, let's say content type. And I'm still in the edit mode and I haven't found any results. So before our feature, the user needed to hit the backspace multiple times to clear out the whole search text box. However, now the user is only one click away from resetting the search text box. And as for filtering, let's say I would like to look up for deb repositories, and I don't see any such repositories in my list. So as a user, I just need to click the link clear filters to clear out all the applied active filters without refreshing the whole page. So the second feature that I want to demo today is also standardizing empty states across all CV pages as well as host details pages. So our solution was to add action buttons inside of empty states, instructing the user to follow next steps. We believe that this feature would better user experience by making next steps clearer, more straightforward. So let me demo this feature next. As you can see, there are no filters to list. We added action buttons across CV pages and as well as host details pages to indicate what the next steps are for the users. For example, this button, create filter, would walk through the user to the next steps and make them more clearer. So this feature is also so let's say here, like it opens up a new model where I can create a new filter, and this way the user won't be wondering around how I can add the filter. So it's just clear and more straightforward for the user. So we hope that with these two features would just in general would improve the user experience by making filtering and searching as well as creating new content types more effortless as well as convenient. So I guess it's everything for today, and hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I'm always available for further questions. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Aliya. Marek, you have some question or something to ask about?
Yeah. First of all, thanks, Aliya. It looks nice. I like the empty states on the tabs, because I really like that it guides the user um, to the next action if they want to set up something. My question uh, is this addition of the empty states limited to just content views or content view page and all of its tab, or do you plan to also unify it everywhere across the whole application?
So right now, it is being implemented for CV details, CV pages, as well as host details pages. So I might not have enough background or context to talk about like the whole application. Um, I believe there might be like other people on the call who can answer, but right now it is implemented for CV pages as well as host details pages. I guess I have demoed only for CV pages because I had some hiccups on the with my box before, but it is also working for the host details pages.
Okay, makes sense. And yes, it would be very hard to fix on all the pages in the whole ecosystem. But maybe since you started with this, it may be interesting to open a post on the discourse and show what we have here, and ask all plugin maintainers if we could actually adopt the same pattern everywhere.
Sure, sounds good. Thank you so much for the feedback.
Thanks a lot, Aliya and Marek, for nice discussion around the feature. And I don't see any questions on YouTube live chat or on IRC. And with that, I am proceeding with the next demo. So Nofar has worked on the validation for root password for provisioning settings, and I hand over the mic to her, and she will also start the screen sharing.
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. So I would like to share with you today a small fix we added to the root password validation. So hopefully you can see my demo here. So I'll show you where the root password field is. So under administer, if you go to settings, just a second. Okay, so here under the provisioning tab, we have the root password. So up till now, there was no validation for this value. And this is not a behavior we want, because this value is also used, for example, here under host groups and also under host. So here in the host groups, you can see that the root password is actually, we require for it to be at least 8 characters or more. So it makes more sense for us to also require this validation here. So this is the fix that we made. So as you can see, for example, my password is only 6 characters long, and if I try to submit it, I will get an error, what we didn't had before. And now if I try to enter a password with 8 characters and press submit, then I get a good response. Regarding to the code, it was a very small fix, only adding this line here and fixing a little bit of testing. And I think that's it for me, and I would love to answer some questions if you have.
Thanks, Nopar. It's a nice improvement. I'm checking if you have any questions on YouTube or on IRC. I'm just waiting for a minute. Hello, Andre. You can go ahead and ask the question.
Hi. So the password length is fixed and can't be changed by users.
Again, I'm sorry.
If users for some reason want to have maybe higher requirements for the length of the passwords, is that something we want them to allow, or is that minimal length fixed?
Are you asking if users can change it? For example, if I want to make it like 10 characters long, at least?
Exactly.
I think I understood your question. Are you talking about changing the code itself to have this validation added?
No, but some
No.
users, we have some setting that allows user password validation change, and that might be useful here as well. But if that's not useful, I'm okay with it. I'm just asking if that would make sense for some users.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't like aware that you can do it, but I would be more than happy to check it and get back to you with a proper answer.
Yeah, I think at this point we can't really change the minimum length of the password. I think it's hard coded, and it's like that for a very long time, I believe. So this may be a good question to our users. If anyone has a feedback on this, we'll be happy to hear on our discourse if this would be valuable to set the minimum length of the password of the root password validation.
Thanks a lot, Nofar and Andre and Marek, for nice discussion. I'm checking the YouTube, but we don't have any questions there. And let me check the IRC, but there are no questions as such. So if anyone has any questions with respect to this topic, then they can reach out to us on community or reach out to Nofar as well. And with that, I'm proceeding with the next demo, and it's from Ian, and he's going to talk about alternate content source refresh cron job. And over to you, Ian.
All right, thank you. Let me just get my screen shared. Okay, so hello everyone. I got an update about Catello alternate content sources. If you've missed our updates on alternate content sources, you can go back and view any of the previous demos. But so for today's update, we have a new cron job that we have. So I'm just showing the pull request here just to give an example of what it will look like. So we have, for folks who've used Catello, you may know that there is a delete orphaned content call that runs on the weekend if you have it configured as such. And to go along with that, we'll now be refreshing alternate content sources. Because alternate content sources are more something in the background that people might forget about, or they just kind of want to exist there, they need to be refreshed to keep up to date with any changes in the upstream repositories. And just for a reminder, an alternate content source refresh just means that the repository is reached out to by Pulp. So Pulp knows where or which RPMs or which files are available in the repo to get the content downloaded from. And so this cron job we have done weekly as well. You can edit this just as you would any other cron job. And what it does is it runs a rake task that refreshes all of your alternate content sources. Currently on our plate, now that we've had this merged, we're also going to be looking at moving both delete orphan content and the refresh alternate content sources to recurring jobs. So You wouldn't have to think about them as a system cron job. Instead, you could see them in the UI like other recurring jobs, and have some means of editing them, which is still to be designed. And while I'm talking about alternate content sources, just a few minutes ago, I merged into our master branch the changes for adding simplified alternate content sources. So that's something that folks should be able to look forward to testing in Catello 4.6. We have yet to have all the changes merged in, but it looks like it should be making it in time. So next time I will be giving a full demo on simplified alternate content sources, which should make it nice and easy to create ACSs on your smart proxies for any of your products that you have. And yeah, that's all for me for today's demo. Sure, Marek, what's your question?
Thanks. I would like to ask, and I understand that this will probably move to the recurring logics at some point, but right now it's a cron job. So first question is, if I change the cron settings in here, and then I rerun the installer, will it keep my custom changes, or will it override it back to what we ship in here? Do you happen to know?
I believe it should keep your custom settings. I was just talking with someone about this. I can't remember completely, but I think it should, because I know we've had the delete orphan content one for a while and that people have been editing that. But it's a good question. Moving to recurring logics, at least, will definitely make sure that that's true. But yeah, I can't remember completely.
Okay, that's fine. I think I can figure out. But yeah, I agree. Recurring logic will help with this aspect. The second thing, and I suppose the answer here may be hard, but do you know how long that task can take? Like if I want to change the frequency or make it more often, or does it really depend on how many alternate content sources I have? But can I imagine that as a 1 minute task, or could it be 1 hour task?
Yeah, so what's nice at least is that in the back end, it's essentially the same thing as a repo sync task in Pulp. They reused a ton of the logic there, if not like almost all of it. So however long it would take you to sync AppStream, for example, it'll take you to refresh that repository. And granted, that will be quicker if you've already done it once. So you can kind of gauge the timing there based on how long it takes you to sync said repository.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks a lot, Ian, for nice demo and explanation. And I'm monitoring the YouTube live chat, but we don't have any questions as such. I'm just waiting for a minute to sync with the live stream, and then we will proceed with the next demo. Okay, so we don't have any more questions on it, but if anyone has any more questions, then you can reach out to Ian, or you can communicate with us on Discourse, our community website. And with that, I'm moving to next demo, which is from Partha, and he's going to talk about Syncable YUM format repository exports. So over to you, Partha.
Yeah, that's a mouthful. But yes. So in the past, when we did the import-export work, or the one that's currently supported, one of the complaints we got was like some of the architects needed to wanted to see the contents of the repository. So the previous export format would export across change sets, and it would give you a zip file with all the content, but it was in the format that Pulp understood. But in some cases, customers seem to want want this to be just a straight up Yum repo export that they could serve up locally on an HTTP server somewhere for the downstream to pull in. For some that is effective, I wouldn't, right? So what we did was we added this thing called a Syncable export format. So when you export something, it'll render, what it'll do is it'll generate the RPMs in a way, it'll generate the RPMs as they are in the disk, and then you will see that you can then maybe like even move it to a web server somewhere, like POP or something, and from a different satellite or organization or a different Telos instance, pull the content. So I'm just going to briefly demo some of the our features of that. So here's my, okay, let's do this. Yeah, here's my Foreman, my upstream server.
Partha, excuse me. So I think you're not sharing your screen.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have shared. Thank you. That's important. All right. Can you guys see it now?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. So here I have like 5. Here's my upstream Foreman server. I have 5 different products. Not very creative with the names here, but so I have synced AppStream, RPMs, base OS. I have also synced Kickstart and 7 server, and all of them are immediate, set to immediate. In addition, I have a couple of custom products. This was one, and there's one here. Okay. Now to give you a perspective, I think all of them is immediate, so every content is downloaded. So if I did a df minus h on the slash, for example, is I have used 160 gigabytes, which is what that many things. that's what it adds to, like syncing a rail server itself adds like 60 gigabytes to your storage. So that being said, I'm going to start. I first want to export. Let's start with something small. I'll export a custom repository. Just a second. So here's a repo 36. Okay. So oops. Let me export this. Hammer content. Export. So you see that it's repository 36, right? It's repository number 36 here. So I'm going to export that. Complete repository, right? I'll say ID equals 36. Now this should export it in the traditional format that we already have. So I'm just demoing that just to show you quickly. It's doing the exports right now, and it will print me a metadata JSON and location and all that. So I can, so if I did like an ls on this, so it's a as I was saying, it is a tar.gz file, and the importer understands how to use this. Like if you did a Hammer content import in a different org, it knows how to use these tar.gzs. But in many users' case, they want control on the data that they're exporting. They want to be able to say, okay, we have this many repositories, but we only want to have the ability to like manually just do it. So to put that in perspective, let me just change this to exportable, right? So it's farm or syncable. There you go. So if I do that, so this is the new flag we added, the format equals syncable. What it does is uh, it'll do a link between what is provided. Okay. Oh, that's fine. We don't need a listing file, but let's see what this has. So it has a custom product. See how it has like the packages directory. So this is the syncable format export basically. So you will, yeah. So you can actually see it in. You can actually see the yum export itself. So if you the user are going to like then compress this, put it in a web server somewhere for some other person to like pull, it's there for you. Couple of things to note here. These are so what is happening is it's generating a hard link between the pulp artifact and the RPM here. It's generating a symlink, which is it's like a hard link, so it shares the same inode, which means that for according to the system, it thinks, hey, this is the full thing. So if this is the real thing. So if I did du minus sh, yeah, see it says there's 236Ks of files. Okay. Yeah, I should maybe do a bigger export for you to get a better feel on this. Let me try that next. So the same facility is now available for exporting from library, exporting from content views, versions, etc. So let me just run that one operation. I'll say my command used to look like this repository. Now I'm just going to say I don't want just this repository. I want everything that's in the library that is immediate to be in this format. So basically, you give it the organization ID here when you say ID, and see format syncable. So, oh, maybe I should have. Maybe it's called organization ID, which makes sense. Yeah. So this should export everything that is. We had 153 gigabytes of data. So I'm going to highlight the fact that it's using hard links because it'll say that it completed exporting all of it, and we would be like, then I'll go through the directory structure just to show you again. Takes about 2 minutes basically. For in my test, at least on my nightly box. I think my VM has 10 GB, so it's probably we need a bit more RAM for it to be quicker. So, but in any case, that's a healthy amount, like 153 gigabytes of data, all being symlinked, around 81,000 packages, all and their metadata. Not to mention that they're all getting exported in a directory structure. So I think that is an improvement in some sense. So okay, it's almost done. Let me finish this train of thought and then talk about the import side for y'all. Okay, there you go. So it says it generated a directory here, right? I'll go there, and if I do so there's content and custom. Our stuff is usually the rel stuff will be in content usually. So if we do, you see how it generated something called a listing file here. So this is used by the CDN. So this listing file makes sense only if we are trying to enable or disable repositories on the import side. I'll come to that in a second. I'm just first showing you if I did something like, let me do the du again, du minus sh. Okay. See how it says 153 gigabytes, while if I do a df minus h, it stays 160. So nothing changed here in the size. This is just hard links it's creating. Now, if I move this, if I created a tar out of it, then I'm going to encounter the delay. So if I want to make a tar file out of this and ship it to my downstream server or something, that would be expensive. But this is hard links, so you can do as many as you want, and it should be negligible. The only drawback here is it's a hard link. So if you don't have space in your wall in the volume, like if your export mount point is on a different volume from pulp, you might run into some issues. But even for something as at the scale of this, it seems to be negligible, the change. So I think it should work out in most situations. All right, so let's do I did content. Wait, remember now. Reset this. Sorry. Let's do content. List. What is it? So rel. So you have the directory. I'll do like a test, I guess. Let's see how it pretty much exported everything, including the quick start stuff. This looks as if it's just makes it look like an open HTTP server. Now, what we can do here is, so I will. Am I taking up too much time, or do we have like a couple more minutes? I can show the import side later.
I think you can continue.
Okay. So here, let me make a directory. Okay, my repos or whatever. Just show you a quick usage kind of thing. So if I said, let's move everything in var lib pulp exports for, I think it's called for a default, right? Export library, okay? So yeah, so pretty much I'm moving everything here. So okay, that's annoying. Okay, but anyway, there you go. We move this 22. I don't like dates as such. So repos. Okay. Not very creative, but you will get what you once I set things up now. It's right. All of these are set to pulp. We probably want it to be Apache if I want to be able to sync this. So, but let's first check if we can access this directory. If we can, I don't need to do any permission tests. So if I did a 10.23 pub, right? I see my repos here. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't like. Okay, so let's set the permissions correctly on Apache. If I did an ls, so I could do ch own minus r. What is it? Apache my repos. Okay. Okay, that's fairly quick. Let's see if that worked. Oh, I forgot to put pub. Okay, maybe that was my mistake. Maybe I didn't need to do this. Okay. Anyway, so you can see that all of this is accessible. If I hit listing, I don't know if it shows me that. I chose this. Okay, good. Okay, now I have my downstream Kitello. So this is a fresh box I created an org called demo. I just imported a manifest. Okay. I'm also marking it disconnected because it is disconnected. So if I did, or it used to be called disconnected. Now it's called something else. Like got the name. Just give me 1 second. Portal subscription connection enabled. Okay, yeah. So this is like a setup. Like, so I have a box here that is in theory not able to talk to the portal. So that's why I marked it disconnected, and that's why I need this new scheme to import things. Okay, so let's see, subscriptions. I should get some error. Okay, good. That's it just says you can't mess with the portal here, which is correct. Now this is my upstream thing, and in my downstream, I'm adding. I see this magic manage manifest button, right? And you see something called a CDN configuration there. You just change the Red Hat URL to your custom URL. Okay. And then you should be you're able to use the Red Hat repositories page. So if I think I had AppStream and base OS. Let me see if I can get that. So where is base OS RPMs again? Okay. Maybe I forgot to set something here. Yeah, maybe it should be trying to access the listing files and showing me what's available. Maybe I need to refresh the manifest. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah, it does. This doesn't work. I'll demo the import at a different point. So let me try this. Give me 1 minute. Yeah, so I have content there. Good. So let me just change this for a second, come back to this. There could be an issue here that I'm missing out. Just give me 1 minute. Subscription. Now we'll say yes just to move past it, I think. So if I did Red Hat repositories page again, okay. If I go to the recommended repositories, I think again I had AppStream and base OS. So let's see. AppStream RPMs. Yeah, there's some issue with my manifest that is causing this issue. So in theory, I should be able to extend it. Let's try just doing the custom part. So for a custom repository, custom product, what I would have to do is I would create my own custom stuff. So here I go to my repos, custom. You see that? Prod repo. So you just get this, and you can. Okay, I can change the URL here. Sorry, I can here create a new repository. Basically, it's just available on HTTP, so anyone can pretty much use it. If I sync it, I should be able to, in theory, get it to show the new data that I put there. So if I sync now, let's see. There, yeah. File it is pulling it from here now because we changed the URL. Okay. I will, yeah, okay. We'll have to see there's some issue with my setup that is causing, there's an SSL cert error. So I need to set that up correctly. But in any case, you can do this to get a custom import. You should be able to go to the Red Hat repository pages to enable. I'll probably demo that in the next neb demo just to get the full circle. So that's pretty much what I had. One of the thing though is one thing to note is we provide the Hammer content export for these formats, but we can't. There's no way we can say Hammer content import because this doesn't recognize the format, and so there's no Hammer content import equivalent. We are not automatically going to create content views, products, or repositories. If you want to use that, you will have to use the traditional format, or yeah, the compressed format, the importable format. That's the word. Sorry. Okay, that's pretty much all I had.
Thanks
Any
a lot.
questions?
Thanks a lot, Partha. I'm just checking if you have any questions. Okay, so on live YouTube, I don't see any questions. Are there any questions from the people who have joined the Google Meet? Okay, I take that as a no, and with that, I proceed with the next demo, and it is from Nofar, and she has worked on to improve the development installation guide. So over to you, Nofar.
Yes, thank you. Hello again. So I'm very happy to share with you this new development installation guide for Foreman. So this document will walk you through the installation process, starting with a brief explanation on how to install Foreman, and then moving to some basic requirements that you must have in order to run Foreman. Here are some basic commands on how to install it. After that, how to set up the repository, the database, some commands here about the database schema. And after that, the interesting part on how to run Foreman. As you can see, you also have some explanation how to reset the password or setting a mock data. And after that, also some references for home driver and forklift. And this document, we really try to cover everything you need in order to run Foreman. And basically, this document is for us, the developers. And the more information it has, the better. So we already are working on adding some explanation on how to install a Foreman plugin, and also how you can debug Foreman. And I'm sure there's more things that we can add here to the document. So there's also this post here in the development category in our community, and you can add your suggestions here and even contribute to this document because it is for us, and the more information it has, the better. And that's it for me, and feel free to ask things or suggest, as I said, here in the development post or here in the demo.
Thanks a lot, Nofar. That's a nice improvement for development documentation. Yeah, so upon checking the YouTube and IRC, I don't see any questions. I'm just waiting for a minute or two So if in case we get any questions, then we can take those. Okay, I think we don't have any questions on this topic or on older topics. So yeah, so if you have questions as such, then you can reach out to us on community website, or you can also reach out to us on IRC LibreChat, and the channel is #the4man. So I think that's it we have for Foreman community demo today, and thanks a lot everyone who have demoed us nice presentations and live demos, and see you for the next demo. Thanks a lot for joining us.